If you're over 60 and you've been quietly thinking, my blood flow just isn't what it used to be, so performance is supposed to fade, I want you to pause. Because for many men, the biggest problem isn't age. It's one silent mistake they repeat every single day, so normal it feels harmless, that slowly trains the body to deliver blood in the worst way at the worst time. And once that pattern is set, confidence starts slipping first, long before anything serious happens. Stay with me, because the twist is this. The mistake isn't in the bedroom. It's in your daily rhythm, especially what you do when you're tired, stressed, and trying to feel normal again. Let's talk like adults, with dignity. When a man's intimate confidence becomes less steady, the hardest part usually isn't the physical change. It's the mental noise that follows. You start checking yourself. You start wondering if you'll respond the way you want to. And suddenly, something that used to feel natural starts to feel like a test you didn't sign up for. Have you felt that shift, where you're present, but part of your mind is watching from the outside? Here's the first thing I want you to hear clearly. You are not broken. You're not weak, and you're not alone. After 60, the body is still capable of strong vitality, but it becomes much more sensitive to one thing most men ignore: how the body handles blood flow under pressure, stress, and recovery. Now here's the open loop I promised. The silent blood flow mistake is so common that men defend it. They say, "This is just my routine." They say, "It helps me relax." They say, "I've earned it." And yet this one habit quietly tightens blood vessels, disrupts repair at night, and trains the system to be less responsive when you want it to be calm and ready. So what is it? It's the daily cycle of late-day stimulation and late-day shutdown. That might sound vague, so let me make it real. It's pushing through fatigue with caffeine or high-stimulation screens, then trying to switch off at night with a heavy meal, alcohol, or scrolling until your eyes burn. It's going from wired to collapsed, over and over. Not because you're careless, because life is heavy, and you're doing what you've always done to cope. But after 60, that wired to collapsed pattern becomes a blood flow problem. Here's why. Blood vessels are not pipes made of metal. They're living tissue. They expand and relax based on signals: sleep quality, stress hormones, blood sugar, inflammation, breathing patterns. When those signals are calm, the vessels stay flexible. When those signals are chaotic, wired late, heavy late, poor deep sleep, the vessels become less responsive. Not instantly, quietly. And intimate performance relies on responsiveness, not brute force, not trying harder. It's a timing and pressure system. When the vessels are stiff or stressed, response becomes unpredictable. And unpredictability is what destroys confidence first. Let me ask you something that hits home. Have you noticed that on nights when you eat late, sleep poorly, or feel mentally overloaded, you wake up feeling flat, like the battery didn't charge properly? That's not imagination. That's recovery debt. Here's a simple metaphor. Your circulation is like a premium sports car. It's not just about horsepower. It's about how smoothly it shifts gears. When the system is calm and well-maintained, it shifts cleanly. When you run it hot all day and cool it down poorly at night, the gears start slipping. You can still drive, but the ride isn't smooth. Now here's where it gets interesting. The silent mistake doesn't reduce blood flow like a switch. It damages the body's ability to turn blood flow on and off at the right times. The body becomes either sluggish or rushed, and both patterns create problems. Let's break down the 3 hidden drivers inside this mistake. First, stress hormones at night. Many men think stress is something you feel emotionally, but your body feels stress chemically. If your evenings are full of stimulation, news, arguments, scrolling, loud TV, caffeine, even late intense workouts, your cortisol stays higher than it should. And cortisol makes blood vessels less relaxed. Tight vessels are not responsive vessels. And responsiveness is the foundation of vitality. Second, blood sugar spikes late. A heavy dinner, especially refined carbs or sugary snacks, creates a blood sugar wave. That wave triggers inflammation and vascular stress. Over time, the vessel lining becomes less smooth. Smooth lining equals smooth flow. Rough lining equals sluggish, inconsistent flow. Have you ever noticed that some meals make you feel heavy in a way that goes beyond digestion? Third, lost deep sleep. This is the part most men never connect. Deep sleep is when blood vessels repair. It's when the nervous system resets. It's when hormone signaling stabilizes. If deep sleep is cut by late eating, alcohol, or light-filled screens, your body doesn't recover fully. And a body that doesn't recover doesn't deliver steady vitality. Now, a quick pattern break. The problem isn't that you're getting older. The problem is that your routine is training your body to recover like an older man with no rest. And here's the twist. Listen closely. Many men believe the solution is to focus harder in intimate moments. More effort, more pressure, more control. But effort under stress makes vessels tighter, breathing shorter, and the nervous system more reactive. That means the routine that created the problem also sabotages the fix. So what do we do instead? We replace the wired-to-collapse cycle with a calm-to-repair cycle. Not dramatic, not perfect, just consistent signals. Let's start with the single most powerful correction. Protect the last 90 minutes of your day. Think of the last 90 minutes as your body's repair runway. If you fill that runway with stimulation, your body can't land into recovery. And if it can't land into recovery, the next day starts with a weaker foundation. So the first practical shift is simple. Dim the lights, reduce screens, avoid intense conversations, and keep stimulation low. Does that sound boring? Maybe. But boring is exactly what your nervous system needs to repair. Now here's a small routine that sounds too simple to work until you try it. For 5 minutes in the evening, do slow nasal breathing. Inhale for about 4 seconds. Exhale for 6 to 8. No force, no holding, just a longer exhale. Why? Because long exhales tell your nervous system, we're safe. Safe nervous systems relax blood vessels. Relaxed vessels repair better. Repaired vessels respond better. This is how you rebuild responsiveness without hype. Let me ask you a real question. When was the last time your body felt truly safe at night? Now, the second correction. Move dinner earlier and lighter. You don't need to starve. You don't need a crazy diet. You just need to stop asking your body to digest heavily while it's supposed to repair your circulation. If you can, finish the main meal 2 to 3 hours before bed. If you must eat later, go lighter. Protein, vegetables, healthy fats, less sugar, less refined carbs. This one change often improves sleep depth dramatically. Third, be careful with alcohol as relaxation. I'm not here to shame you, but alcohol fragments deep sleep, even if it helps you fall asleep faster. Many men think, at least I slept. But the body didn't repair. And again, repair is the foundation of next-day vitality. Now another pattern break. If you're waking up to urinate often at night, don't just blame the bladder. Ask what's happening to your sleep depth, your stress hormones, and your late-day fluids. Isn't it interesting how night patterns affect day confidence? Before we go further, 2 safety lines, brief and responsible. If you have chest pain, severe shortness of breath, fainting, or sudden new symptoms, get urgent medical care. And if you take heart or blood pressure medications, or you have diabetes, talk to your clinician before making major changes to diet, exercise, or supplements. Now, here's the part most men miss. And this is the doctor explains moment. Blood flow is not just a heart issue. It's a vessel behavior issue. And vessels behave differently when the body is in calm recovery versus low-level urgency. And after 60, the body becomes less forgiving of urgency. So if your daily life is full of urgency, rushing meals, constant notifications, long sitting, poor sleep, your vessels learn to stay tight. Tight becomes normal, and normal becomes your baseline response. That's why the fix is not one trick. It's a pattern shift. Let's add a fourth correction that makes a big difference. Walk after dinner. Not power walking, not sweating. A calm 10 to 15-minute walk. This improves blood sugar handling, supports circulation, and helps the body transition into restful mode. It's like telling your vessels, flow smoothly. Don't spike. Don't crash. Have you ever noticed how your mind clears after a quiet walk? Fifth, train the legs lightly, consistently. This isn't about looking athletic. It's about vascular signaling. The legs are huge muscle groups that help regulate blood sugar and circulation. Chair stands, gentle squats to a safe depth, step-ups, light resistance, done regularly. Send the body a message. Maintain circulation. Maintain responsiveness. And when circulation is maintained, intimate health often improves as a side effect. Now here's the emotional layer, because I promise dignity. Many men carry this privately. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to feel judged. And they definitely don't want to feel like they're failing. So they try to act normal, push through, and ignore the signals. But ignoring the signals is how the cycle becomes permanent. What if, just for a moment, you treated this like a dashboard light? Not shame, not panic. Information. A warning that your recovery system needs attention. Wouldn't that feel lighter? Now we hit the twist moment I mentioned early. The silent blood flow mistake is not about one bad habit. It's about the daily mismatch between how you stimulate your body and how you recover. You stimulate hard, then you recover poorly. And you wonder why the system becomes unpredictable. When you fix recovery, the system becomes steadier. And steadier systems create steadier confidence. So here's your calm action plan. Without bullets, without hype, just a clear rhythm. Tonight, protect the last 90 minutes. Lower light, lower stimulation. 5 minutes of long exhale breathing. Eat earlier or lighter. Take a calm walk. Then sleep in a cooler, darker room if possible. Over the next week, add 3 short sessions of light leg work. Over 2 weeks, watch what changes first. Sleep depth, morning energy, calmer mood, fewer crashes. Those are early signs your vessels are repairing. And yes, many men notice intimate response becomes more predictable when those foundations improve. Now let me ask you the question that matters. Are you trying to force performance, or are you rebuilding the system that supports it? Because after 60, the system matters more than ever. This is the climax. The men who keep vitality aren't the men who chase extreme solutions. They're the men who respect recovery. They stop training their body to live wired and collapse. They train it to downshift and repair. And once repair becomes consistent, confidence returns quietly. Not because you got lucky, because your body finally has the conditions to respond. If you've been living in that daily rush, screens, caffeine, late meals, stress, collapse, don't blame yourself. That pattern was designed by modern life, but you can redesign your rhythm starting tonight. Remember this line because it's the simplest truth in the whole video. Blood flow doesn't only depend on what happens in a moment. It depends on what your body practiced all day. Practice calm. Practice recovery. Practice steadiness. That's how you protect vitality after 60 without embarrassment, without miracle claims, and without turning your life into a punishment.